This is an operating system, hardware, operating system, and user. So what is this? You have a hardware, you have your own computer hardware is there, right? You have a computer, means you have your CPU, motherboard, RAM, right? You have CPU is there, RAM is there, ROM is there, hard disk is there. Okay? Yeah, motherboard is there, all are connected to motherboard only, right? Now, as our diagram in hardware, we give input, but how this system understand your input, right? You have to give input. So, to the hardware should understand your input means you have to give hardware understandable language. Okay? For example, you want to talk to a person, which language you have to speak, what language he understand, you have to speak in that language only. Okay. Okay. Same way, you know, whether you have done the practicals on this one or not, whether you have an idea or not, I don't know. But we have a processors from Intel, very old processor for every academics. Even in my diploma also I have done. So that's why I'm telling engineering and diploma have this one. 8085 programming, 8086 programming. So 8086 is a processor, 8085 is a processor. Microprocessors and microcontrollers are also there. These are two are a processor. You have to programming. Programming means you have to give an input via a program and you will get an output on the screen. Okay. This is a keyboard. The keyboard you have to give your program and then give the input. Then this will process it and show the output on the screen. So that is what we are direct programming. And we use a language called assembly language. Assembly language. Assemble language. The main code, assemble language code, will be converted into the assemble language code, directly convert into hexadecimal. Hexa to binary, it will convert and feed. It's a very low level language. Okay. So how many people know how to give a programming, like write a code in an assembly language or a hexa code and give input to the hardware, get an output, right? So difficult, right? So it is not like you cannot teach everyone like how to code a hardware. Then it is only pure computers background will be happen. Now computers are used by different people. People literally don't know the any kind of language also. People are using mobile phone users. You see in a villages like people never seen a school, but they see this mobile phone now. Okay? So like it is not only the smart mobile used by only for smart people, it is not like that. Okay. So the operating system help the end user to give an input through the input devices or maybe some applications, some interfaces, and operating system understand user input and send to the hardware process it and give it to the operating system presents. Okay, so now we are reading these PPTs on a web browser. Web browser is an application running in my operating system. Okay, so directly we can't give an instruction to the hardware, so we are giving via. What is an operating system? Operating system is a software which acts as a interface between the end user and computer hardware. It is the end user and person is working on a computer. He need an interface, right? He need an interface to see what is he can able to do. You want to click on something, you want to open something, you want to give a command and stuff, right? So that interface provided by operating system, that is this level. And second, in same operating system which interacts with your hardware, okay, runs the applications, provide a user interface. Every computer must have at least one operating to run the other programs. Applications like Chrome, MS Word, MS Excel, games you are playing need some environment in which it will run and perform a task. Right? You want to play a game, you want to run an application. So we need a certain environment to run. Who is providing that environment? Operating system. Voice help you to communicate with a computer without knowing how to speak computer's language. As I said, don't require to know the computer low level language like assembly also intermediate language only, but like their binary system, hexadecimal system kind of stuff. You don't need to know how to give a direct instruction to your CPU, RAM, and kind of stuff. Simply, you can start using your system with the help of operating system. It is not possible for a user to use any computer or a mobile device without having a operating system. It is possible. Okay. Sorry. It is not possible for a user to use a computer or a mobile without having operating system. So that is the main point of operating system, guys. Operating system is a software or an application. Application is second, so don't say application, guys. Operating system is a program or a software, you can say. Application in the sense people think like application means this is the Google Chrome is an application. Microsoft Teams is an application, right? Or a paintbrush is an application. Uh, um, uh, the WhatsApp application, VLC player application. Okay, a lot of applications are there. Okay. SQL developer is an application, VMware application, CC cleaner application. This is a WinRAR application. Okay. So application in the sense it is that one. So don't get confused between software and application, program and application. All are same. Like without a programming, you can't create anything, right? Application or operating system. So application is a software, operating system is also a software. It is also some kind of application it is. But when we are dividing it, operating system to application, so application is something we work on it. Okay. Operating system is which is we are using to work with an application. Operating system is a software or a program or a software which act as an interface between user and computer hardware. End user and computer. I am using my computer, I running some applications. So how it is possible? Because of operating system. So everyone not required to know how to do the hardware programming, but very simple operating system will help you to work with your computer. Okay. So we can run different applications. You can give instruction to work with a certain task. Guys, this is the OS architecture. This part, usually if you are learning Linux or Unix, people may give you this information, but even though your operating system is Windows operating system or Linux operating system, Unix operating system, the terminologies are same only. But in Windows, we cannot manage the kernel and shell part of your operating system because we don't know what is the kernel, what is shell in the operating system. We can manipulate, we cannot able to program it in Windows. That's why when you are learning Windows based operating systems like a Windows 10 or Windows 8 or Windows Server kind of stuff, we don't think about this kernel and shell is not there. It's all about how to work with Windows 10 only, not with the core operating system part. In a Linux and Unix, if those are open source kind of stuff, we can able to interact with their kernels and shells. We can able to manipulate, we can able to change their settings also. Of course, in Linux, we can able to modify also. Guys, here it is. Operating system basically two parts. Two parts. We have to tell two parts. Of course, two or three parts are there. So like mainly two parts. One is kernel, another one is shell. Kernel interacts with the hardware, shell interacts with user. Okay, the kernel part of operating system interacts with the hardware. It manages your hardware, processing, disk management, network management, memory management. Yesterday, we have done hard disk management, right? So we have done a hard disk management. We taken a hard disk, we created a partitions, we created a partition kind of stuff. We created a file system. So this is a disk management. But where is the disk? Hard disk is in the hardware level. So how we can able to manage it because of it's mainly kernel part. Like the same something. Process management, network management, memory management. So this is the through kernel only we can able to do. Of course, guys, in your hardware, there's lot of hardware devices are there, right? Like audio, video, network, hard disk, process, memory. These are all devices are there. You connected a printer, connected a scanner, we connected some mobile phone, some storage device externally. So your kernel is try to understand the devices and try to understand how to interact with the devices. Okay? How to interact with the devices. So operating system kernel part is try to manage your hardware, try to understand your hardware components and interact with your hardware components. On top of kernel, there is a shell. Shell interact with the user, also interact with the kernel. Shell interact with the kernel and user. Shell provide a user interface. Shell provide a user interface. There is a different type of user interfaces are there. Like one is a CLI, command line interface. Means user has to do work with the computer by command lines only. Example, if you see any Linux or Unix command line interfaces means it's a CLI interface, commands only there, like our command prompt. It's a command line interface. You want to do certain thing, or you want to run an application, or you want to create a file, you want to install something. You have to use the command line. Through command line, you are using a commands, you can get it. For example, I want to open Python. Yeah, first of all, I want to check the version of Python. So I given some wrong sentence. Yeah, it's a Python. One second, guys. So I can type like a print like this, right? So how can I do it? So I'm doing this thing in a command line. So it's very simple. I just try to show you. So not Python it is. So anything like I want to see what is process is going in my PC. These are the task is going in my PC. I want to kill the process. Or maybe I want to do something like I want to do create a file, or maybe I want to open some application like that. So it's a command line type. Actually, our Windows command prompt is don't do more things like a Linux and other things, but you have a command line. That's a command line interface means in generally Linux, Unix based operating systems and certain operating system purely command line operating system also we can do it means as we do as a graphical user interfaces we can do it as CLI also. So shall provide a user interfaces like a command line interface. GUI graphical user interface. Graphical user interface means this is our Windows is our graphical user interface. You can see so we can able to manage applications or data or anything by graphically. Okay, I want to do a disk partition. So no need to type the commands directly. I can open disk management. There I can able to manage the hard disk. Right. I want to store data in a. I want to copy a data from D drive to E drive. I can copy from D drive and paste into E drive directly. So that is a graphical user interface. No need to type the command for that. GUI is a text-based or a terminal-based user interface. So that is a different from CLI and GUI. It is a very old, but it is stopped developing. Okay, it is there. Like if you maybe practice old style C language using Turbo C and all, you may see editing windows are there. Uh, Forget about it. Okay, TUI is a kind of command lines only means when you are using a command line but you want to change certain things or maybe you want to interact with certain settings kind of stuff you can easily do it with the TUI but not with the mouse with the keyboard options only but you can easily do that one like a network management firewall management file management kind of stuff you can do with the TUI but mainly guys CLI and GUI command line interface means you are interacting with your computer, your operating system through the commands only. GUI, you are interacting with your computer or your operating system with a graphical user interface. So this is a what is an operating system and operating system architecture. Of course, I didn't say like a Linux having a different type of shells environment in a Linux and Unix. Currently, we are using Bash, BASH, Bourne again shell, Bourne shell, T shell, C shell, K shell kind of stuff, other shell in environment. So different shells are there. So what is a shell will do? Interact with the user, provide a user interface, run user applications. And shall interact with the kernel based on the user input and all. So shall interact with the kernel. Kernel interact with the hardware. It manages the hardware, understand hardware components, communicate with the hardware components, and process user. That's enough. Okay, guys, up to here, good. Operating system and kernel and shell. Where are you gone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here it is, type of operating system. We'll see type of operating system. Then I will give you a break. Type of operating system, simple operating system, and network operating system. Simple operating system is example is like a desktop operating systems or comes under simple operating system. Like a Microsoft DOS, Windows, Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 11. These are all simple operating systems. Why it is? It's a desktop operating system only. Next, network operating system. What is a network operating system? Through network, we are thus the operating system through network. It provides certain network services like a DHCP, DNS, like kind of stuff through network. So example for a network operating system is server-based operating system, server operating system, like a Windows servers, Linux, Unix. Linux and Unix are basically server operating systems only, not used for desktops. Next, another type of operating systems are there: single user, single task, single user, multitask, multi-user, multitask. Okay. So not only these guys, there is a different type of operating systems are there. We'll discuss that. Right, so you'll see single user, single task. MS-DOS operating system. Single user, multitask. Single user, single task means only one user can able to log in and only one task he can able to perform at a time. So operating system, only one task at a time. No background, no foreground, only one task only can perform. Only one user. Example is MS-DOS. Single user multitask. Single user multitask. It is a Windows XP, like a Windows operating system, best example. Anything Windows desktop operating system, Windows server operating system. Both are best example for a single user multitask. For example, in my laptop, I am using Windows 10. I open a web browser. I open a WhatsApp. WhatsApp is not open. Why? Morning it is open, but it is given. Okay. So, and also working with the Notepad, a Paintbrush, Microsoft Teams. Okay. Now I open a WhatsApp and again. Okay. Here it is. It is working with the network, audio, video, everything, right? So multiple tasks I am doing, but I log in as a single user. If I have a multiple users in this PC, both people want to access the same PC. Okay, I have multiple users like me and other person is also using two different accounts, but both are cannot work at the same time. Okay, same PC, two accounts, two user accounts are there. Both are cannot able to communicate with the same PC at a time. If I log out, other account can able to log in, but both account cannot be log in at the same time. Okay? So single user, only one user can log into Windows system, not multiple users. Multi-user multitasking. Multi-user multitasking. Of course, multitasking means multiple tasks we can perform, both foreground and background. Next, multiple users can able to log in. Multiple users can able to log in. Multiple users can able to log in. At the same time, physical login, remote login also possible in the Linux and Unix based operating systems. So guys, the type of operating system: SOS, NOS, simple operating system, network operating system. Simple operating system is like a desktop operating systems like a Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 10. These are all desktop based operating systems. Network operating systems are a server-based operating system like a Windows servers, Linux, and Unix, because it provides a certain services through the network. Server operating system. And another type of operating systems, single user, single task, single user, multitask, single multi-user, multitask operating. Multi-user, multitask operating system example is Linux and Unix. Single user, multitask operating system example is Windows operating systems, and single user, single task is only task. Okay. And of course, as I said, different type of operating system. There is a mobile operating systems are there. Mobile operating system does not mean operating system is a mobile. Okay. So in a mobile phone, in our mobile phones, we are using different type of operating system. Even though there is no smartphone time, we have a future phones. That is also contains an operating system. That is also an operating system. But now we are using a different type of operating system that's in the demand-based operating system. Like you have to choose, you want an Android mobile or iOS mobile. Android mobile or a Apple phone. iOS means Apple. Or a other also layer. Windows is also given a competition in the last end also, but now Windows phone operating system is almost all gone from the market. Okay, so up to Windows 10 they released, but Windows 10 also they stopped developing. Okay, so maybe in future we will get a Windows 11 or 12 operating system for a mobile phones. We'll see that one. Symbian, Nokia Symbian operating system is there. Tizen from the Samsung is one of the operating system. BlackBerry mobile phones are there. Once upon a time with the BlackBerry, usually popular operating systems, the mobile from olden days is one of the thing is BlackBerry. Another one is Windows, Symbian. So when Android came into market, so then Android become a more like a open source. Android is in the market. It is a kind of open source. Anybody take your Android, they can develop an application on the Android. Only to depends upon the company, like a Nokia company or BlackBerry company. So they will provide a certain app, then we can use it. Nothing is like that. We can build our own application. We can distribute that applications. Okay, it's a kind of free services. Lot of games availabilities are there. So then Android is become highlighted. Of course, there is always charismatic like kind of stuff. Attraction is there for a iPhone. So of course, iOS comes with it. Real-time operating system, anything that be on automated. Okay, real-time operating system, guys. These Windows operating systems or Android operating system or a Linux-based operating systems, whatever it is, it's more like a commercialized operating system. Like exactly say, it's suitable for a multiple hardware. Like I have a Windows operating system, I can install an Intel processor, AMD processor. I can install an i3 processor, i5 processor. It's a commercially available array. It is available, so I can use it on a multiple type of hardware. But in a real-time operating system, in a real-time operating system, it is stick into the hardware related. For example, I want to build a satellite. I have a hardware computer components hardware is there in this satellite. Then I will build an operating system for that one. Control it. So separately a specialized self-build operating system I use, not available everywhere. Why? Because of I no need to do any unnecessary things. So see this Windows 10, there is a lot of features we don't use daily or occasionally also. Daily or occasionally also. So for example, you can I will show you the few things. Okay, just to show you this task tablet mode is there in Windows 10, then only I will use it. So we don't like to put on a airplane mode, right? Of course, the mobile hotspot may useful. Okay, like there are a lot of kind of like a location kind of services. There are a lot of services, applications. You know, here it is I removed. Okay, so generally, if you see there is a weather forecasting to your laptop. You have a mobile phone or your smartwatch. We can see the weather forecasting of all. Why we need a weather forecasting? International trading. Why we need that? I have removed all those things, so no problem for me. But if you see the international trade related senses, we don't use it. We don't do trade. So even if you trade, that is also Indian market. So why we are going with the things? It is when I open, this is nonsense. Okay, so yeah, I control it. So then no, you don't you know it because it is in your PCs. It is weather forecasting. Okay. I am not here what it is. It is trading. I don't understand what it is. These names and some premium league and what is this premium? So I did never hear this kind. I hear Liverpool and I don't know this kind of stuff. This is the nonsense news. Okay, this is the only one useful for me. Nothing is okay. So this is just I'm showing in the browser, but in a reality it is like a it will be tab on your system or maybe like this it will shows like what is the trade going on, what are the things I'm doing. So I don't want all these things. I don't want to commercial. I don't want that their network, public network. I have my own operating system for my specific hardware, specific functionality. For example, you have a AC. The AC is there, smart AC. It is there is a board, and there is an operating system inside. What is the duty of it? You turn on, it should be on. You put a AC 25, then it should be maintained 25. Okay, the controllers that is limit programming only is required for operating the device. That's it enough, right? So not required for everyone. Like you take a Windows operating system or Linux operating system directly and implementing on this special hardwares, then it is not unnecessary things. So many will be. Of course, for a real-time operating system, a Linux core like a Linux kernel, you can download and build your own operating system for yourself. So we don't use Windows. Okay, so whatsoever it is, guys, there is different type of operating system, like a distributed operating system is also there. Okay, distributed operating system. Later we can find out what it is. Distributed operating system means it's a operating system and it will try to run your application in a different servers. To find out that is what it is. I'm not telling now. Okay. So what is a desktop operating system and a server operating system? Guys, first important type of operating system SOS and OS. And type of operating system, other types it is single user, single task, single user, multitask, multi-user, multitask. And in a different operating system wise also, not only a desktop and laptop operating system, there is a mobile operating system, mobile phone operating systems are there. Mobile means mobile phone operating system, okay, and real-time operating system, distribution operating system. What is this desktop and server operating system? When I said SOS and an NYS, there is this desktop and server operating system. So desktop OS means our Windows 10 is a desktop operating system. Windows 11 is a desktop operating system. What can I be able to do with this my Windows operating system? I can play games. I can do set work with some application. I browse Here I can watch a movie, I can stream a movie, I can watch a movie, I can hear the songs, right? Like this. Desktop operating system meant for applications, games, data processing, and multimedia related. Web browsing, programming, like Python programming, Java programming. I can implement my program. Okay. I can play audio, video kind of stuff. Next, desktop operating systems. It is like a end user. Means you have a server, network, so many things are there out, but my laptop is my end user. This is my end user, right? I'm an end user. This is my device, end user device. And client PC. So desktop operating system is basically client PC to the server. Okay, it can be a Active Directory client PC like that. Next one is server operating system. Server operating systems, already I told Windows servers, Windows specifically servers are there, Linux servers are there, Unix servers are there. But what is the use of these server operating systems? It support for a server applications or a built-in server features or a roles. Different type of servers based on their services by installing an application or a built-in feature, these servers become a servers like a DHCP server, DNS server, VPN server, web server, application server, middleware server, file server, mail server, authentication server, proxy server, remote desktop server, deployment servers, like that. There's a multi more servers are there. These are some of the list, some server list. So desktop OS for a general purpose, guys. Generally, we are using desktop operating system for our requirement. And server operating systems are to use it for a provide a service. Server operating system, so in that one, through server, we are providing a service to the client PCs, which is nothing but our desktop PCs. We are getting a service from the server, and inside your servers means in the server operating system, Windows operating system or Linux operating system, we install an application, server based application, or by already there is a internal package or built-in features are there. By installing them, it become a server. For example, I install a Microsoft Exchange application in the Windows Server 2012 operating system or 2016 operating system. It become a mail server. Okay. So if I enable a feature is like a internet information service in a 2000, sorry, in Windows Server, it is become web server. I install a package, HTTPD package in the Linux server. It become web server. Become web server. I install a Tomcat application, then it become a small application server. Web server come application server. Like this. So different based on features or applications or roles you install into a PC, then it become a particular server. So that is we can do with the server operating system. This we install an application or we enable the built-in features or a role, then it can able to provide a service. Server operating system. I'll give you why real-time operating system is important over the um, commercial operating system in a certain places. I think it is there. Yeah, this is the thing. Don't worry, should mute it. So here is a one web series. Here it is a certain series in a what we can say,
Yes.
Space Force in Netflix. What happened? There is some crashes going on. They are trying to fix it. They have to do certain commands from system. It is a Windows. So that time only it is start updating. It is start updating. So I will show you that update screen. So you have an urgent work. So that is an start giving updates, right? Like that. That is a highlight of that series. Okay. So they simply like our space scientists use a Microsoft operating system. It is getting an update when it is launching, or when it there are find some control when they want to send some controls. If it is updating, what will happen? You have to contact Microsoft. Okay, so point is that one, guys. That is one of the reason why we should use real-time operating system on a certain things. Okay, so we have to design an operating system which is suitable for our hardware, which is not suitable for any other hardwares also. It is not a general operating systems. Okay, that's it. Yeah, this is about a basic operating system, guys. Next one we'll see what is a Windows 10, certain features of Windows 10, few things about a Windows 10. Okay. Any doubt or anything? Any questions?